And yeah, after what did you say? A solid break with some more technical problems. I don't know what my internet is doing at the moment, but don't be surprised if I drop out. And if I do, it's not because Scottie is saying some bullshit, but hey, he's the guy I talk the most with in Trackmania, and still I find the time to put him in on a stacked schedule here. But now it's just 15 minutes, or let's see if it's 15 minutes. But yeah, Scottie, how is life? What is Scotland doing at the moment?
I mean, Scotland's in a little bit of a shitfest at the moment, but gladly things are calming down. I'm doing well. I'm just keeping up to the same old tricks. I mean, the lockdown hasn't changed anything for me. I maybe go out a little bit less, but I mean, shit hasn't changed over here, you know.
But this is mainly to give the fans of Trackmania a good platform to actually hear from all of the top players about what they think about Trackmania instead of going to each and every stream to ask, hey, what do you think about Trackmania? So I guess the first question is pretty easy. What do you think about the new Trackmania?
I think I'm like, here's the way I look at the new Trackmania. It's a polished game in a sense of it looks nice, it's pretty. You know, a lot of the updated visuals are nice. The map editor looks a lot more accessible, but the so in that sense, I'm optimistic about it. I'm happy about it, but my kind of issue is when you start peeling back the layers, like some of the UI systems are buggy and they're not working correctly. Some of like the things that are essential for competitions are not working properly, like the memory leaks for big servers, which we've had problems with in TM2. You know, when you look at a lot of the stuff not actually having changed, the rounds mode still having issues, lap script still having issues. So, like at the moment, I'm enjoying the game because I'm just playing it. I'm not worrying about tournaments all the time, so that's all fine. But I don't want to scratch too much under the surface because I feel like I'm going to end up disappointed. You know what more has actually changed, or if we're still going to have the same shit to deal with. You know.
Mm. Yeah, Kappa was mentioning that. Of course, he liked the game. He said that the gameplay is maybe the best he has ever felt. But once you look at what this game has to offer, maybe it looks half finished. Do you think that
Mm.
maybe once we go into the time period of not everybody just playing the campaign maps alone, maybe just everybody hunting Serati or Trackmania Grand League, once there is actually some life into Trackmania, once people are expecting a lot of servers, a lot of tournaments, then we might see some actual problems about this game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there was big discussions in the old TMEC forum or Discord because now is the chance where a lot of the top level players in tech, at the very least, those that actually still play it, are kind of drifting into playing some tournaments and things like that, and they're drifting into going on to these practice servers. They're contacting these providers, and a lot of the servers are just having absolute nightmares in terms of how they're actually working. I mean, people are getting kicked off servers, they can't connect, you can't have too many people on the one server. So I definitely do think that when the larger majority, so the people who are maybe still doing like ZRT, because ZRT is obviously going to be sorted. I mean, we've seen that from times gone by. They've always had some sort of, I mean, I don't know what it is, but some sort of technical superiority in whatever it is they're working with, or they don't suffer from as many problems. Maybe they've got more resources or whatever. But when your general kind of Joe Blogs, like myself, or we're going to see for the LM Cup, I reckon it's going to get pretty messy. We're going to see a lot of problems coming out, but it's a question of when they'll be fixed because I'm pretty sure they know about them. I'm pretty sure they know that these problems exist. It's just in a case of if it's going to be a lap script problem where they're going to not be able to diagnose what's causing the issue and we're going to have to fucking shake up the scene, or if it's just going to be something that will be just a hiccup in the road, so to speak.
Mm. But do you think that maybe it's good that one of the first major competitions is actually the Serati Cup? Because now you said every year there is at least if there's some problem with the Serati Cup, then it's fixed. So maybe now if the Serati Cup finds some problems, then Nadeo is gonna be like, okay, we fix it, and then other cups will also benefit from that actually being fixed.
That is what you would. That's how you would want it to work. But
Mm,
the other side of this problem is you do not want a problem to happen during ZRT Cup. This is
mm,
peak fucking exposure. That this is like tens of thousands of people are watching this. Although we have had quite a high amount of viewership throughout the early kind of 2 weeks and things like that. For its first kind of marquee tournament, the last thing you want to be seeing is problems. Because if people see problems that are happening in a ZRT Cup and they go and try that out themselves and are still having the same problems, that's gonna annoy a lot of people. And even though you would get a good result in the sense of it being fixed, I think the time has passed where Nadeo could just get away with fixing things when it appeared on a big platform. They need to get their finger out and actually start bringing up fixes that are getting notified to them from people who might not have the same exposure. It's not the case of, you know, some other games where big streamers complain and big streamers get shit fixed. That it can't continue on like that in the new game, in my opinion.
Hmm.
If it does work like that, then we're going to have a lot of problems in times to come. Because of course, Zerator isn't around, 12 months of the year, so that definitely be an issue.
Hmm. But if you look at this new game and how it feels for you as a player, do you feel that this game is going to benefit you more from a player's point of view? Do you think that maybe you were a better player in Trackmania 2 Stadium? How do you see yourself actually performing in this new game?
I mean, in terms, I would only really be able to kind of draw a comparison to my tech performance, my kind of tech level. I feel like I mean, I know a lot of people feel like this in Trackmania. They feel like they get unlucky in matches and things like that. I always felt like I was a victim of my own kind of approach to the game, but also with just the kind of removal of a lot of, like for example, there's no Ramsteins anymore. Like I've been hunting some of the tech maps for quite a while, and I've yet to have one bug, which I'm really happy with. I feel like I'm a lot more capable in this game, especially in tech. But the other side of things, when you look into the more mixed style, of course, now it's translating more to a kind of, I don't know, Nadeo maps with different surfaces and an identity.
Hmm.
That's kind of what the tournament format seems to be nowadays. It's not like you're having TM like OGL and shit like that, which of course would be one of my goals. It's not like I'm going to have to worry about being very technical in this because they aren't technical tracks. You know, they're just a kind of mix up of different surfaces, so to speak. I'm feeling like I'm kind of falling behind a little bit in that, but I think that's more just because the tournament life is just completely different now. I mean, I might hold out for tech tournaments while a bunch of other people are playing these, random cups that I've never heard of that are getting them some good practice in and things like that. So I think my tech level will be good, if not better. I mean, I'm always improving, of course, but in terms of all styles, then it just depends what tournaments are going to be coming up. I mean, if it's an old SEL from back in the days where it is technical dirt sections, full speed, actual tech, of course, then great. I'll be all for that, and I think I can perform really well. But if it's just going to be like OGL or TMGL is going to be the format going forward, then I'm going to have to put a lot of work in.
Hmm. Yeah, how would you actually say that? How serious are you going to take the upcoming Open Grand League? Are you going to put as much time as you can as possible? Or are you basically just going to see maybe how where we end up, just maybe for fun, and see what level you have as a more casual player? Or
I'm not sure because the way I look at Grand League, I want to be part of Trackmania Grand League. That's definitely a thing. I mean, of course, now I'm restricted to kind of casting opportunity side of things, but I want to be involved in that in some form. The only issue I have with Open Grand League is the amount of hurdles that are between you and actually even being regarded for a spot. I mean, me and you, Eric, have spoken a lot about that. I mean, I believe I'm a player that's capable of getting to the combat. I don't think that's much of an issue for me. It's just more I need to put in the time and I need to put in the effort. I'm perfectly capable of that. But what switched me off from it last time was the issues with how you actually got into like the top 32. The point system in the Open Grand League I thought was fucking ludicrous. And then things that I've since learned about the combine, I mean, essentially you'd need to get into the combine and get top two and be in the good books with Nadeo. Otherwise, you've essentially not got a hope, which is very demotivating as a player hoping to get into Trackmania Grand League. Like it's so many hoops, not only being good as a player, but I need to have essentially the right relationships with either people or with organizations to get into to get into Grand League. And that's why when I've been speaking a lot about it, I hope there's a lot of other tournaments that do kind of mix styles or have some sort of marquee event so I can get involved in that, as I have a lot of problems with Open Grand League. But if it does turn out that that's the only option, then I'll do whatever I can to get involved.
hmm. And like I said, you are probably the guy, or I guess he's by far the guy who speaks the most Trackmania with both on screen and off screen. And next week, I think we're gonna have the Let's Talk Trackmania back running, but the main reason for that is because now Erwin Weber from the ESAC is stepping up to do it. But I saw something on my Twitter feed that you are the head of the media. What does
Mhm.
that mean? What are your role now in the ESAC?
Right. So ESAC is basically going to be going through an expansion, along with, as you might have seen if you guys pay attention to the Twitter feed from there, that they essentially wanting to bring up a kind of tournament platform. Now, what you guys might be familiar with a lot would be tournament and things like that. Essentially, ESAC and Erwin, pretty much on his own, is developing a tournament platform specifically for Trackmania. The full speed guys will know a little bit about that, as it's the TMO full speed edition is being hosted through that. So going forward, Erwin and ESAC are looking to kind of expand the amount of, not necessarily the amount of influence, although that's kind of poor word to use, looking to expand the effect they can have on Trackmania. And me being brought in as head of media is essentially to make sure that both ESAC has the best grounds it can to succeed. So it's got people who knows what they're doing and bringing visibility to the platform. So people who are wanting to host tournaments know where they can find the information, but also expanding into things like providing providing a platform for casters, in a sense that caster like there is some sort of organizations on other sides of Trackmania where outside of Trackmania where like organizations can contact them if they want people to cast events for them, and in the other sense casters will contact the group, so to speak, because they want to cast things, and they'll essentially be a go-between. But that's just a small example of how the media side of things will work. We'll look to bring exposure to the tournaments that are provided the kind of platforming package through ESAC. So it's just kind of all you would think through media as its own. We want to expand as much exposure onto the ESAC platform as possible. I'm there to do whatever I can to help that happen, as I think it's fantastic work that Erwin's doing, and for such a long time it was relatively thankless. I mean, he didn't get a lot of recognition for it, and it wasn't getting the visibility it deserves. So hopefully with my role and for some others I'd like to get involved in the project, that not only can we bring visibility to what will be a good platform to work in Trackmania from, but also to allow other people to connect to the competitive experience. This is essentially what we'd want to be, as a good hub for the competitive experience, so people know where they can find out about new tournaments instead of going through all these fucking 20 discords you get for all these tournaments or all the rest of that mess. So we've yet to hash out the exact details of how we're kind of going to move into the media side of things, but I mean, keep in touch with both the Twitters, myself, and ESAC, and the details will be out there when we have them.
And like I said, we will hear more from you and then, of course, myself on next week's Let's Talk Trackmania. And if you want to know when that is, I guess you have to follow me. And also, you can follow Scottie on Twitter. But if you want to follow Scottie, when do you stream? Do you have some sort of schedule now? Because it's a new game, you want to try to get people to know when is the Scottish man streaming? When can we find him? Or is it more when you feel like it?
It's always when I feel like it. I mean, due to the nature of my work, my schedule changes every single week, so it's impossible for me to have a set schedule. But I mean, if people follow me on Twitter, they'll see when I'm going live, or just hope that you manage to catch me. I mean, I'll be happy to see anyone regardless of when they show up, so it's all good there.
And that's it. More from Scotty on a Tuesday on this channel and also on his Twitch channel, TM Scotsman there. Thanks for stepping up, man. Always a pleasure. And I guess we'll talk more, right?
Yeah, of course.
And next up should be Wingo Bear. Let's see how this break is going to suit my internet. But yeah, stay tuned and hopefully it's not going to be a long break. And thanks, Scotty.
No problem.